Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a plane crash in one eastern Kentucky county leaves a man dead and a community shocked. And Kentucky college students come together to remember one of their own after she lost her life in a tragic Halloween event across the sea.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
.33, I'm Dakota Makris. It is Friday. The weekend is almost here. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. Brandon, you know earlier in the week when I said I was trying to get today off? Look where I am. Didn't work out in my favor.
Well, you know, it's been a busy news week, so I mean,
that's true, but you know, I would say, you know, I could use that time off to take a nap, but then one of our viewers will get mad at me, so I'm not going to say anything.
That's right, exactly. All right, let's get into the forecast this morning, and it's going to be a nice day for any outdoor activities as you head through the daytime hours. We'll take a look at this morning, though. Not a great start to the day in Pikeville, but it's a little bit warmer over there in some areas. It's a little cool in some spots this morning. 56 in Pikeville, 40s out there at other locations this morning, like Clintwood at 42, which is our cold spot, 43 Manchester, Middlesboro, and Jacksboro. Also cool spots over in London today, getting ready to lay Officer Medlock to rest there, and the ceremony at noon that we'll be carrying on our Facebook page. Some good weather for that this afternoon there. Sunshine across the board today. So a lot of folks enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the break from the rain, but unfortunately we have our own issues this weekend when it comes to the wind. We are very dry right now, and it's going to maybe potentially cause some problems. More on that in a little bit later. But again, the forecast for this morning, we're looking at nice conditions as we head through the morning hours, clear skies, cool conditions, and sunshine later on. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, an eastern Kentucky native is dead following a plane crash in Harlan County. 55-year-old Dr. David Sanford was found dead following a crash south of the Tucker Guthrie Memorial Airport, just outside of Harlan. Kentucky State Police say first responders rushed to the scene once people in the area reported hearing loud noises.
A short time later, a small plane was discovered, and at that time we began responding to the airport.
Now, the Federal Aviation Administration will be investigating how the crash happened, but there was dense fog in the area at the time. We are told Dr. Sanford was from Middlesboro, but he was living in Knoxville. 2 people are dead after a crash Wednesday night in Pulaski County on US 27 in the Eubank area. A 2005 GMC Yukon driven by 43-year-old Ronald G. Rose crashed into a 2014 Nissan Rogue being driven by 41-year-old Aaron R. Singleton. Well, Aaron Singleton was pronounced dead at the scene. A passenger in the front seat of the SUV was also pronounced dead at the scene. She was identified as 39-year-old Ashley Singleton. Rose was flown to the University of Kentucky Hospital for his injuries. On Wednesday, the Prestonsburg Police Department held a drug roundup which resulted in many arrests. 25 indictments were issued following investigations from detectives, and during the roundup called Operation Fall Festival, 20 of the 25 people indicted were arrested. One Prestonsburg PD officer said the charges range from first-degree robbery to drug trafficking, and busts like these are important in keeping Prestonsburg safe.
For Prestonsburg City Police, our main goal is to do lengthy investigations, get to the top of the person supplying people in our communities. And that's why these investigations are so important, and that's why this administration, it's important to them, is so we can make our community safer.
Officials say along with the help of other agencies, these investigations and roundups will continue. One man from Monticello is facing several drug-related charges after police found drugs inside a box used to train canine officers from another county. The man on your screen now is 47-year-old Ernest Baker. Officials with the Wayne County Sheriff's Department say they were told a black box full of training narcotics and possible drugs was taken from another department and might be in their area. Deputies searched a home on Span Hill Road and found more than 14 grams of meth, a small amount of marijuana, THC oil cartridges and suspected THC wax, and a small amount of cocaine. Well, the family of Officer Logan Medlock received hundreds of visitors on Thursday to honor his memory. From friends and first responders on last evening at Corinth Baptist Church in London, friends of Officer Medlock say he will be missed, and they will hope people always remember him for the amazing person he was.
He just has such a great reputation, and he's such a fine young man, comes from a good family, has a 5-year-old. You know, it's heartbreaking.
Medlock's funeral is today at noon at Corinth Baptist Church in London. There is a procession following at 1:30, ending at Locust Grove Cemetery, where the officer will be laid to rest. We will carry that live on our Facebook page. Last night, students at UK came together in memory of a nursing student killed in a crowd surge in South Korea last weekend. Angie Skeet was studying abroad and attended a popular Halloween event when the crowd rushed into a narrow alley. More than 150 people were killed in what is being called the country's worst disaster in years. Well, the lack of significant rain in eastern Kentucky continues to create a high fire danger. Jason Lindsay takes us to the Red River Gorge, where it hasn't been this dry in 12 years.
We're looking at
This wildfire prevention team is synergizing to prevent deadly wildfires from erupting in eastern Kentucky.
We all work together to get that message out about fire prevention.
Especially this year.
This year, we're a lot drier than average.
And that's not good news for an area where wildfires are often caused by careless campers.
Here in the Red River Gorge, we get a tremendous amount of backcountry camping use. A lot of people with campfires in the backcountry, and that is the #1 cause of wildfires here in the Red River Gorge, escaped campfires.
Here's how you can prevent a forest fire if you're backcountry camping or just camping in general. Put out your fire, extinguish it completely. You do that by adding water, stirring it, adding more water. Then put your hand close to the pit. If it's cool, then you're good to go.
When you're coming out to a place like the Red River Gorge and maybe you want to do some backcountry camping, think about what you're going to be doing that night. And one thing I'd recommend is maybe not even having a fire. Maybe just looking up at the stars, doing some stargazing.
Wildland firefighters from across the country are already in the gorge preparing for wildfires.
When we get into a high fire danger time like we're in now, we'll bring in additional resources from around the country. We have firefighters here from California, Oregon, Utah, North Carolina.
But we can make their jobs a lot easier by preventing wildfires from the start. So be campfire conscious. At the Red River Gorge, I'm meteorologist Jason Lindsay, WKYT.
Experts say 98% of wildfires are caused by humans and can be prevented.
Coming up on 641, current temperatures. That's the big story this morning, is the temperatures. There's not a whole lot of fog this morning, unlike yesterday, which unfortunately may have led to that plane crash over in Harlan County. But again, we are looking at the temperatures being the big story. They're still not as bad as they have been. We've seen some 30s and 40s even earlier this week, but it's 40s and 50s this morning. 57 Jackson, Pikeville, and Logan, they're back to 57. Prestonsburg and Pikeville like to trade off temperatures there a little bit. Prestonsburg will give Pikeville a degree, and then Pikeville will give it back. So they're sharing over there in the Big Sandy this morning. 42 in Clintwood, the cold spot this morning. Manchester, they're tied for that as well. 43 in Middlesboro and Jacksboro as you head out the door. Out the door forecast. Beautiful day. Get outside. Enjoy it. The wind will slowly pick up, which, as Jason was alluding to in the package, could lead to some forest fires this weekend. But for today, enjoy the sunshine and enjoy the warmth. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. It's almost 6:42. Still to come here on Mountain News this morning. A spike in RSV cases here in the U.S. puts a strain on our nation's healthcare system once again, including in areas right here in Kentucky.